Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to this Glorious Mother series. From past a few days, we have been hearing about glorious mothers from our Vedic history. What are the benefits of hearing about these glorious mothers? Srimad Bhagavatam describes like this: Shrutasya pumsam suchirashramasya Nanvanjasa suribhiridito artaha tattadgunanushravanam mukunda padaravinda rudayeshu yesham. Srimad Bhagavatam says, when we hear about the great qualities and the activities of the great people again and again, repeatedly with great endeavor, that helps us to establish the lotus feet of Mukunda, Lord Krishna, in our heart. These great glorious mothers that we have been discussing every day are great devotees of the Supreme Lord. They're not just great mothers, they're great glorious devotees of Lord Krishna. By hearing about them, by discussing about them, we are cleansing our heart, we are preparing our heart to receive the lotus feet of Lord Krishna in our heart, because these mothers are embodiment of devotion to Lord Krishna. So today we are going to discuss about another glorious mother who is the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kapila. Yes, today's episode is about Mother Devahuti from Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd Canto. Mother Devahuti was the embodiment of glorious qualities and great character. The first glorious quality of Mother Devahuti was she was extremely humble. She was the embodiment of this divine quality of humility. How is that? She is the daughter of great Emperor King Swayambhuva Manu. King Swayambhuva Manu is the direct son of Lord Brahma. You can imagine Devahuti is the daughter of Emperor Swayambhuva Manu, who ruled the whole world, whole planet, and she is the granddaughter of Lord Brahma. She is also the sister of two great emperors, King Uttanapada and King Priyavrata Maharajas. She is also the paternal aunt of the celebrated devotee Dhruva Maharaj. This is her background. And Srimad Bhagavatam describes Devahuti was a great advanced yogi who had mastery over Ashtasiddhis, the 8 mystical powers of a yogi. She was not an ordinary woman. She was not an ordinary person. She by birth had mastery over the 8 great mystical powers called Ashtasiddhis, and this is her background. She was also extremely beautiful. It is described in Bhagavatam once she was playing with a ball on the terrace of her palace in the garden. There was a garden on the terrace of her palace, King Swayambhuva Manu's palace. And at that time, there was a Gandharva by name Vishwavasu was traveling in the sky on his airplane, and he happened to look at this Devahuti on the planet Earth. She was playing, and he was so fascinated, he was smitten by the beauty of Mother Devahuti, and he was infatuated by looking at her. he couldn't control himself. He immediately fell down from his aeroplane. That was the beauty of this great lady Devahuti. So she was extremely beautiful. She comes from a great dynasty of Lord Brahma, King Swayambhuva King Uttanapada, King Priyavrata, and she was born mystic. She had complete control over Ashtasiddhis, and this was the background of Devahuti. And this great lady, she accepted Kardama Muni, a great sage, as her husband. This shows the humility of Devahuti. Just imagine in this world when there is a lady who comes from a royal background, royal family background, whose father is emperor. She grew up in all comfortable life, filled with palatial facilities and comforts, was marrying a simple hermit, a great sage, Kardama Muni, who was living in a hut, who was not living in palace, who was living in a simple hermitage. So this shows that Devahuti, she was having this quality of humility. And what is that humility? She was simply not interested in the royal palatial comforts and facilities, but she was interested in the spiritual goal of her life. And this is the first quality of this great glorious mother, Devahuti. And the second quality of Devahuti is that she was completely a chaste wife and she was austere. As I told you that she married Kardama Muni, he is a Muni, he is a sage, and he was living in a small hut that was built. The house of Kardama Muni was built with leaves, Parana Kutira, made of leaves, simple, no facilities. Even though she did not get any facilities in the beginning of her married life, but she was not frustrated, she was not disappointed, she was not angry, but she was completely devoted to her husband Kardama Muni, and she completely satisfied with great devotion towards Kardama Muni. This shows that she was a chaste woman. Chaste woman means completely devoted to her husband, who without any other expectations in the mind only thinks of husband's happiness. And when we say this, we also must keep in our mind that Kardama Muni was not an ordinary person. This criteria is not applicable to all men. The women, when they are chaste, at the same time it is expected the man, the husband, must also be an extraordinarily qualified, like in the case of Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni was a self-realized sage. He was a great devotee of the Supreme Lord Krishna because he had performed tapasya on the banks of Saraswati river for 10,000 years. You can imagine, when we talk about Devahuti's chastity, we should also know for whom she was faithful, towards whom she maintained her chastity. Her husband was not an ordinary person. It is not that husband can be any rogue and unqualified person, but wife should be chaste. No, the husband must be so qualified. The wife is inspired to be a chaste woman towards her husband. So Kardama Muni had performed severe austerities on the banks of Mother Saraswati river for 10,000 years by being pleased with his austerity, tapasya, devotion. Supreme Lord appeared before him and he blessed him. This is the background of Kardama Muni. So Mother Devahuti, even though she comes from a royal upbringing, she was completely comfortable in serving her husband in a simple life of a hermit life in a hermitage. So this shows that she was a chaste woman and she was ready to take all kinds of austerity. That shows that she had the spiritual foundation in her life. She was not simply expecting that I want only palatial and comforts and facilities to enjoy the life. She knew the goal of life. And that's why with chastity, with the renunciation, she was serving her husband. This is the second quality. The third quality, that she was completely detached from the material comforts. She took up a lot of austerities and she underwent penances, and she so much performed the austerities that one day Kardamamuni looked at his wife Devahuti, who had emaciated her body. Her body, which was so beautiful, which was so attractive to even Gandharvas, had become completely worn out. That much austerity she had taken up in her life to please Kardamamuni, who was engaged in serving the Supreme Lord. When we say that she was engaged in serving Kardamamuni, not that Kardamamuni was engaged in sense gratification like today's men that we see in this world. No, when the wife is engaged in the service of her husband, the husband is engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord completely in unalloyed devotion service. So that is most important. And Devahuti, she had engaged herself in all kinds of austerities without getting attracted to any material facilities. So this shows the third quality of Mother Devahuti, that she was detached from material comfortable life, so that with complete control over her five senses, and she is detached from the material bodily comforts and facilities, she engaged in the service of Kardamamuni. Because of all these great qualities of Devahuti, the Supreme Lord was so pleased that he made the divine appearance in the womb of this great noble lady Devahuti. We can understand, if the Supreme Lord is appearing, she cannot be an ordinary woman. She must have these great qualities. And what are those great qualities? Number one, humility. Number two, she was chaste. She was austere. And she was completely detached from material happiness and comforts and facilities, and she was devoted to her great devotee husband Kardamamuni. Because of all these qualities, the Supreme Lord appeared in her womb as Kapila Deva, Lord Kapila. And third canto Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies Mother Devahuti with all these noble, divine and glorious qualities. And she became the glorious mother because the Supreme Lord was so pleased with her qualities that he made his appearance in the womb of Devahuti. And that's how she became a glorious mother, because of all these reasons. And the most important thing is, what is the greatness of Devahuti? When her father Swayambhuva Manu with his wife Shatarupa, that is the mother of Devahuti, both of them came and approached Kardamamuni to talk about the marriage with Devahuti. At that time, Kardamamuni agreed to marry Devahuti on one condition. And that condition is something very surprising. Kardamamuni said, I will marry your daughter Devahuti on this condition. The condition is, as soon as I beget children, I immediately renounce my family life and I will renounce to the forest. I will completely accept renunciation and take up sannyas. That means I'm not going to be with your daughter. I'm not going to be with my wife and continue to be in the family life. Even after hearing this, her husband Kardamamuni is going to leave her, going to renounce her and go to the forest. Devahuti married Kardamamuni. She was the daughter of King Swayambhuva Manu. There were many Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Devatas were standing in the queue to marry her. She was not some ordinary woman. There were many qualified people. But she chose to marry Kardama Muni because Kardama Muni was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So Devahuti was very clear in her mind who should be her husband. She chose Kardama Muni over Gandharvas, Devatas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Vidyadharas because Kardama Muni was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. She was simply interested in the devotee of Lord Krishna. Even after knowing that my husband will renounce me, tell me who will agree to such a proposal. That, oh, my husband will leave me after some number of years. Will you still marry such a person? No, but Devahuti is agreeing because getting the association of a devotee is not so easy in our life. Sadhu Sangha, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoya, Sarva Shastra Kaya. Getting the association of pure devotees so celebrated, so fortunate, even a momentary association can bring all fortune, all auspiciousness in our life. So Devahuti knows this very well. That's why when she knows Kardama Muni is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and even for few number of years that he is going to be with her, that's enough for her, because that is what the great fortune in our life, getting the association of the devotee. And now Kardama Muni is going to be her husband and is a great devotee of the Lord, and getting the association in her life of the devotees of the Lord is such a great fortune. She agreed to marry Kardama Muni despite knowing he's going to leave her after some time. So this is the greatness of Mother Devahuti. And she, when she got Supreme Lord as her son, Kapila, she demonstrated another aspect of humility. What is that? She herself is a great devotee, comes from such a great lineage. She is a granddaughter of Lord Brahma, sisters of another two great devotees, Uttanapada Priyavrata and Swayambhuva Manu. But still, she sat down and she was listening to her son. Kapila Deva, he taught Sankhya philosophy, the philosophy of pure devotional service, to his mother. Here we can see that even though she is a mother, but she was sitting down and hearing seriously about devotional service from her own son, from her own child. She did not have any ego. Oh, I am the mother. Why should I hear from you? I am the great mother, come from a great lineage. Who are you to teach me? No. When it comes to devotional service, when it comes to hearing about Supreme Lord Krishna, it just doesn't matter who is speaking. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayanta mam parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Krishna says, my devotees are so absorbed in thinking of me, in remembering me, in talking about me, in conversing about me. They take great delight in all these things. So Mother Devahuti, because she's such a great devotee of Lord, that she was so happy to hear and be instructed from her own son. Actually, if you see from the normal etiquette and from the normal hierarchy of the Vedic society, mother is the one who instructs the child. She is the first guru of the child. But here, the child, the son Kapila Deva is instructing Mother Devahuti because it's about devotional service. When it is about the Supreme Lord, when it is about devotional service, any hierarchy can actually reverse. It doesn't matter. And Mother Devahuti is teaching this great quality to all of us, that even though you are a mother, but if your son is practicing devotional service, if your son has taken up Krishna consciousness in his life, then you must listen from him. You must follow the instructions given by a devotee son. You must take the devotional principles, the teaching from him. And that's what this glorious mother Devahuti is teaching all of us. She does not have any ego at all. And she was so eager to hear about Lord Krishna, as Bhagavatam says, Shrunvatam Swakatham Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hrudayantastahi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam Shrunvatam Swakatham Krishna. This hearing about Krishna, Shrunvatam, is so pleasing and so auspicious, it can immediately purify our heart from all contamination. And Mother Devahuti, she was all our ears to hear about Krishna from her own son Kapila Deva. That is what a great quality, the glorious quality of Mother Devahuti is, that she's so eager to hear about Lord Krishna even from her own son. Just like we see this when Shukadev Goswami was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, his own father Vyasadeva was sitting down and he was hearing from the mouth of his own son Shukadev Goswami. So all these things tell us that whether you are a father, whether you are a mother, but when it comes to hear about the devotional service, about Lord Krishna, it doesn't matter. You hear from them. And here is an example of this Devahuti, glorious mother, teaching the same principle. And the next quality is that she had staunch faith in the holy name of Lord Krishna. And here, this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read this on your screen. Here it is said, Yannamadheya Shravananu Kirtanad, Yat Pravranad, Yat Smaranad, Api Kvachit, Shvado Api Sadya Savanaya Kalpate, Kutap Punaste Bhagavan Darshanad. She says, if somebody is a dog eater, Shwa means somebody who eats dog, generally considered not qualified in the normal Vedic culture because of their unclean habits and all that. Even such a person simply chants the holy name of Lord Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mother Devahuti declares that such a person becomes immediately eligible to perform all Vedic rituals and to please the Lord. If this person simply hears Shravananu Kirtanat, he hears, he repeats, he chants and recites the holy names of the Lord, and Smaranat, he remembers. By hearing, by remembering, by glorifying the holy name of the Lord, he immediately gets so elevated, he becomes so qualified that he becomes more qualified than a Brahmana who is expert in performing the Vedic rituals. And this is what Mother Devahuti is telling about the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So she's glorious mother because she had staunch faith in the chanting the holy name of the Lord, and she's also instructing the whole world about the glories of the holy name. So the mother becomes glorious mother when she herself chants the holy names of Lord Krishna, and she has the staunch faith, and she actually teaches to the whole world. I know there are many glorious mothers in our country, all around the world, who teach the chanting the holy names of the Lord. I have seen in my childhood, while upbringing, there are many mothers who teach Vishnu Sahasranama and some Devaranamas and some the chantings and shlokas of the holy names of Lord Krishna in childhood, so that the children can pick up and recite those holy names and chant holy names like this. So these are the glorious qualities of our mothers. Please let us know in the comment section, did your mother teach you to chant some shlokas? Did your mother encourage you to chant Hare Krishna mantra? She is glorious mother. If not, doesn't matter. And just like there are good mothers who are ready to listen to their sons and they're ready to pick up chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. There are many mothers, the mothers of the devotees in our Hare Krishna movement who have learned to chant Hare Krishna mantra after their sons have become devotees in Hare Krishna movement. So there are mothers like this who are teaching or who are learning from their children, own son. So this is the glorious quality of glorious mothers. Please comment in the comment section and let us know, what did your mother teach and what did you learn from your mother about the holy name and shlokas and Bhagavad Gitas and all those things. And this is what Mother Devahuti. And the last quality of today's episode that Mother Devahuti exhibited was she was very serious in her devotional service. She was very staunch and she actually followed it very diligently. And here it is said how she followed. You can see this on your screen too. Bhakti pravaha yogena vairagyena baliyasa yuktanusthana jatena jnanena brahma hetuna. It is said she practiced devotional service so seriously. Vairagyena baliyasa. She developed strong renunciation. It is so important. If our mothers and our father do not have renunciation, we also become attached to sense gratification. So yad acharati shreshta. Our own heroes and heroines have to show us by example. And here is Devahuti, who even though comes from a royal background, but practiced high level of renunciation. Vairagyena baliyasa yuktanusthana jatena. She implemented and she practiced all the principles of devotional service in her own life. Jnanena brahma hetuna. She was self-realized and she was doing this with her own self-realized knowledge. Bhakti pravaha yogena. She was completely engaged in bhakti yoga. Vishuddhena tadatmanam. She became completely purified because of her serious engagement in devotional service. Atmana Vishwatomukam. She worshipped the Supreme Lord. Vishwatomukam. Swanubhutya Tribhota. It is said that Tiro Bhata Maya Guna Visheshanam. She was purified from the influence of three modes of material nature. So to summarize, that Devahuti, she is great in her humility. She was chaste, she was austere, she was detached from material comforts, and she was actually having great eagerness to hear about the Supreme Lord. Doesn't matter, even though that is from her own son Kapila Deva. And she had staunch faith in the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, and she was sincere, serious in her devotional service, and she followed it very strictly. These are the glorious qualities of the glorious Mother Devahuti. Thank you so much for all of you coming here and hearing today's episode. Today, I request all of you to please watch this video of a folk devotee, how he is appreciating his mother for all that she has done in his life, especially encouraging his spiritual life. Request all of you to please go, be grateful to your mother, thank your mother, thank Krishna for gifting you such great mother in your life, for everything that she has done in your life, and please be grateful to your mother for everything she has done. And please comment and let us know, what did you like in today's episode, what did you learn from today's episode, and what is one interesting point that influenced you from today's session. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ma, Happy Mother's Day, please bless me. You used to narrate amazing stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata, which taught me Indian values and culture and laid a strong foundation for my devotion to Lord Krishna. Thank you so much for being the first guide in my spiritual life. I'm so fortunate to have a mother like you, and I thank Lord Krishna for blessing me with such a wonderful mother. Happy Mother's Day once again, Ma. Dear folks, this Mother's Day, let us express our gratitude towards our loving mothers by highlighting how they have guided us in our spiritual life. Let us make them feel special. Hare Krishna.